You ever have one of those days where you feel like you're just lurching from one thing to the next, trying to keep up? Well, we're going to explore a really simple but kind of profound idea for navigating life. And believe it or not, it all starts with driving a stick shift. Ah, yes. Anyone who's tried to learn manual knows exactly this feeling. The lurch, the engine just dying, that wave of panic washing over you. It's so clumsy, right? So frustrating. But this is the whole point. That chaos, that's where the learning actually happens. And this is the thought that kind of stuck with me. What if we look past that initial struggle? What if driving a manual car isn't just a skill, but, I don't know, a metaphor, a roadmap for how to live with a little more intention, a little more awareness? Okay, so let's start with the most obvious part, right? The gears. How do these different stages of driving mirror the different stages of our own lives? Think about it. You've got first gear. It gives you that initial push to get moving, but you can't go fast in it. Then you got fifth gear, perfect for cruising on the highway, but totally useless if you're starting from a dead stop. Each gear has a purpose, and the whole trick is knowing you gotta keep shifting to match where you are. And that's that first gear feeling, when you're putting in so much effort, grinding away, but it feels like you're barely moving. These are those learning phases, the beginnings of things, when it all just feels like a real struggle. It's necessary, for sure, but man, it is not always fun. But then you shift up. You hit third, fourth, fifth gear. And all of a sudden you're on the open road and everything just clicks. There's this incredible sense of ease, of momentum. You're not fighting the car anymore. You're working with it. That's the moment all that grinding pays off and you hit that sweet spot. You're in the flow. And that's really it, isn't it? Being stuck in a gear that just doesn't work for you anymore. A job, maybe a mindset. It's like pushing the engine into the red. Real growth is about learning to feel when it's time to pull back, make a change, and move into the gear that the road ahead actually needs. But here's the thing. You can't shift gears without one crucial piece: the clutch. We barely think about it, but in our little metaphor here, this might be where the real secret is hiding. So the clutch, it's literally a moment of disconnection. You press it, and for a split second, the engine's power isn't connected to the wheels. In our own lives, we're so scared of these moments. We see a pause as wasted time, right? Like we're falling behind. So we just rush from one thing to the absolute next without even taking a breath. But what if we reframe that? What if that little disconnection, that pause, isn't just empty space? What if it's actually required space? The moment you need to consciously choose the right gear for what's next. It's the quiet moment before a big decision, the silence where you can actually hear yourself think. All right, so we've got gears for our different phases of growth and the clutch for finding a moment of clarity. What about the brakes? We usually think of them as stopping us, but let's try to look at them in a completely different way. Now, just let that sink in for a second. Brakes aren't about failure or giving up. Their main job is safety, control. And in life, well, these are our boundaries. They're what we put in place to protect our energy, our peace of mind, and our direction from all the stuff that could send us spinning out. Our whole culture just glorifies going faster and faster. But hitting the brakes, saying no to something, taking a day for yourself, choosing to rest instead of pushing through, that isn't weakness. It is a smart, strategic move that keeps you on the road for the long haul. So this kind of brings up a personal question for you, for me, for all of us. Just take a second and think about it. Is there an area in your life where you're just speeding along, maybe heading for a red light you don't even see yet? Where could tapping the brakes right now actually save you? And knowing when to use those brakes is so important. Because let's be real, life is not a straight line. It is full of turns and detours and curves you never saw coming. So, how does our little driving metaphor handle that? I mean, it's just common sense, right? You don't try to take a sharp corner going 80 miles an hour. You'll lose control. It's dangerous. You just know instinctively that you have to slow down, maybe downshift, and carefully guide the car through the turn. And yet, when we face a huge life change, a new job, a move, a breakup, we expect ourselves to just handle it at full speed, to not miss a beat. This idea suggests that maybe we should treat ourselves with that same practical wisdom. We have to slow down, be gentle with ourselves, and adjust our approach with care. So when you put it all together, the gears, the clutch, the brakes, the turns, what does it all add up to? Well, I think it points to a much more engaged, a much more conscious way of living our lives. Think about it. Automatic cars are easy.
they're convenient, you just put it in D and go. But you're also less connected to the car, less connected to the road itself. And so the question is that how we want to live? Kind of disconnected on a preset course, not really engaged with the journey?
And that's really the heart of it all. To live manually is to be an active participant. It means you feel the road, you listen to the engine, you make conscious choices about when to speed up, when to slow down, and when to just pause. Yeah, it's harder, for sure, but it's also so much richer, so much more real. So, first, clutch. Remember to pause, to make that space, find that clarity before you make your next move. Then, brake. Give yourself permission to slow down, to set those boundaries that protect you, and to do it without an ounce of guilt. And finally, just breathe. The simple thing that connects it all, the awareness that keeps you present, right here, in your own one-of-a-kind journey. Clutch, brake, breathe. Maybe that's all the instruction manual we really need.